Welcome to Comics Bazaar, the channel of comics commentary and arcana. This video features a collection of Transformers comics that I happened to buy on a recent trip to the US. So I was traveling through Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I went into a comic book shop there and I saw a big brick on a high shelf of a set of 1 to 24 of Transformers. That's the Marvel US series, the original series, beginning in 1984. And I was in the 80s a big Transformers fan, and I collected the comics, the UK weekly comics that reprinted, the US comics material, as well as original UK stories written by Simon Furman. So I was intrigued by this set of Transformers comics, and in particular the price of $100. So I took it down from the shelf and asked permission whether I could open the brick from its sellotaped coherence in order to examine the individual issues in the batch. And I was very impressed by the quality of them. Now you can see here on the left that I have my own CGC slabbed Transformers #1, the direct sales edition, and it is graded at a 9.6. So that's a prized possession of mine. Of course, I'd love to have a 9.8, but that would be pretty costly, in and around $2,000 to $3,000, depending on the market. And there's an intriguing aspect of Transformers #1. Whenever you see a copy, you always have to be careful as regards which printing it is. So the way to know that you are looking at a copy of the first printing of Transformers #1 is the ad on the back page. And it should be this one, which is for a Star Wars arcade game. So that's the ad that features on the reverse of the first printing of Transformers #1. So of course I was incredibly curious about what ad was on the back of this, because there's a second and a third printing of Transformers #1. And I didn't open it up in the shop because I thought $100, there's no way it can be the first printing, because a first printing copy in this particular quality, there's a few little teeny tiny spine ticks there in the middle of the left hand side of the cover. Very, very small. They're the only defects on this. So maybe this would be CGC'd at 9.0 or something like that, without any kind of restoration work. And not restoration, but like any kind of work to iron out those ticks. So when I got the batch back to my accommodation, I of course opened it up, and I'm going to do that on screen here. And I was wondering what was I going to see on the back cover, and this is what I saw when I turned it over. So it is in fact a first printing also of Transformers #1. And wow, was I absolutely over the moon to see that. So that was excellent. And I've just removed my CGC copy there very carefully and center this. Yeah, so that's something that you should be on the lookout for if you ever see a copy of Transformers #1. This is the direct sales edition out there in the wild. Have a check around and see what is on the back cover in order to determine whether it is a first printing or not. Now, I might as well show you the rest of the batch. So here we have issue #2. That's another direct sales edition. That is a really, really nice copy there. Very, very happy with that. As I said, all the copies pretty much in the batch of 24 were in really great condition. Lots of them, I would say, if they were to be graded, would get a 9.0 or above. Now this is one that I'm very glad to have, which is issue #3. It's the one that features Spider-Man, and this one doesn't get reprinted when Marvel don't own the copyright to the Transformers. So this is a nice one to have. It's got that collectible dimension to it, and it is a newsstand version as well. You can see the barcode here. So the newsstand versions, more difficult to get those in good condition because they were out there in the wild being manhandled by news vendors who didn't really care about the comics, particularly just to sell them on. And yeah, so very happy with this. nice copy, newsstand copy of number 3. Remember, Transformers was originally supposed to be a 4-issue miniseries, and so you have that banner on the top of the first 4 issues. There it is again, number 4 in a 4-issue limited series. But the thing about it is that it was so successful that Marvel gave the green light to the series becoming an ongoing. Interesting to see that this particular cover is produced by Mark Teixeira, an early piece of work by him. And this is also, at the end of this issue, the first appearance of Shockwave, who appears on this painted cover to issue number 5. Always really liked this painted cover to issue number 5. And again, a really nice copy of that particular issue. Up next, I've got number 6 for you. Not too bad of a cover, not amazing. Shockwave versus Megatron. Another newsstand copy. Another newsstand after that is Transformers number 7, featuring Ratchet versus Megatron. And then that's another newsstand copy. A newsstand copy here with the Dinobots. This is another Transformers comic that's worth a fair bit in the back issue market because of the appearance of the Dinobots, the ever popular Dinobots. The interior art on this by William Johnson, a well-remembered artist for just the 2 issues he did on the original Transformers comic. He also did a bit of work on Daredevil in and around issue 200 before he left, apparently, comics entirely. Then we have issue 9 here featuring Circuit Breaker. Circuit Breaker, a character owned by Marvel, not Hasbro. Then we have issue, let's see here, number 10. This is featuring the Constructicons and of course their Gestalt form of Devastator. Another newsstand copy. More newsstand copies here with issue number 11 featuring Jetfire. I think that's the first appearance of Jetfire. Then we have issue number 12 here with Optimus Prime apparently turning on his own team, the Autobots. That cover by Herb Trimpe. Then a cover here. This is a famous story where Megatron is in his unable to transform from his gun mode and gets picked up by a petty criminal who uses him to devastating effect, as you can see on this particular cover. If I remember rightly, the interior art is by Don Perlin. And then let's see, we have issue number 14 here. So this is a kind of an homage to the rock star here is supposed to be an homage to Bruce Springsteen, who is still rocking in the present day. And yeah, that's a nice enough cover there, an interesting cover. Then we have the cover to number 14, another newsstand copy. And then issue number 16 here, featuring Bumblebee getting shot to bits by the Decepticons, another cover by Herb Trimpe. Then we have, I remember this particular story, The Smelting Pot, or The Smelting Pool, another cover by Herb Trimpe. So this was the return to Cybertron, yeah. And we've got Blaster here on the cover. That's a pretty cool, eye-catching cover. That's a nice one to have in your collection. And then the second part to that story with the space bridge there and a nice color hold of the space bridge in the background, featuring Blaster up against Straxus between two worlds. Yeah, I like that cover too. And that one is by Trimpe as well. Then we've got issue number 19 featuring Omega Supreme, another cover by Herb Trimpe. Issue 20, another Trimpe cover, and that is Megatron against Skids. That's a fairly unequal match. And then next one, number 21 here, another Herb Trimpe cover, and it is the Aerial Bots versus Decepticons there, like Thrust and Dirge. And then I always love these covers, and I want a complete, if I can get it, collection of these Marvel 25th anniversary covers with the border drawn by John Romita Sr. And in the middle, you'd usually have a headshot of some character from the series. In this case, it's Galvatron on the cover of number 22. Then we have issue number 23 here. This is another eye-catching, striking cover featuring Runabout and Run Amok, with the Statue of Liberty in the background, and I love the graffiti. They were graffiti artists, and the graffiti they write on the Statue of Liberty, "Humans are wimps," with the reversed S's. I always really liked that particular cover, and this is a very nice copy of this issue. And then the last one in the batch is number 24, and that features a very memorable issue for me. I was shocked at the conclusion of this. Megatron versus Optimus Prime in a computer game, and Optimus Prime's moral decision, shocking moral decision at the end of that computer game, and for me another memorable cover of Transformers. So that completes the batch that I picked up, 1 to 24, and as I said, a big surprise to see that issue number 1 in the batch was the first printing and in such nice condition too. Well, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts about the Transformers comics. Did you pick them up? Were you a fan back in the 1980s? Do you have good memories of these comics from that time? Do you have any of these comics in your collection? Let me know about that. If you enjoyed my video, please like it in YouTube. It really does help the channel. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more content like this.